is just to say we need inclusive, steady, common sense leadership in Richmond. That's what we need. Yeah. Which is why we need people like Terry McAuliffe and Hala Ayala and Mark Herring in Richmond. Because the Democratic Party is not about conspiracy theories. It's about ensuring that people have the right to vote, which we're all going to do if we haven't already, right? That people have the right to vote, that we care about our environment, that we care about COVID and taking it seriously, that science matters. That's what's on the ballot next Tuesday. And that's why we need to, come on, that's why we need to vote. So, look, the governor has a proven track record, which I hope he'll share with you, with his trademark passion. So I'm going to get off the stage and welcome our next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Terry McAuliffe.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Great to be here, University of Lynchburg, greatest university in America. Bo, thank you for the great introduction, and thank you for your service and everything that you do. And Matt, thank you, Mr. President, for the great work you do. And I also want to thank, I am here primarily because of Carter Elliott, who was one of your greatest alums, said you got to come here and do this event. And he's the best staffer I've ever had. You know, every couple of weeks, these jars of moonshine show up in my kitchen up in Virginia, and it's actually great stuff, so I thank you for that, Carter. But folks, listen, we do have a historic election coming up in 6 days. Thank you for all coming out. How many of you have voted so far? Wow, great. Who has not voted? Okay. Do me a favor, early vote. Here's the good news on early vote. So when you vote, you come off our list, so we no longer texting you, we're not calling you, we are not knocking on your doors, and we're not bothering you anymore, which is good. But it also allows us to put our resources into other folks who we have to go after. So early vote's really important if you could do it. We're 6 days away. I'm excited. This is a historic election for Virginia. I just asked 8 years if you go back when I was out campaigning for governor before. Folks, don't forget we were a different state. Our economy was in total chaos because of sequestration, the Great Recession. We had the most anti-women, anti-gay, anti-environment, anti-immigrant, pro-gun legislation in the United States of America. They had passed the horrible ultrasound bill in 2012. They had passed the trap laws to shut all 16 women's clinics down. I got elected. First thing I did in my low-key manner is I replaced the entire Board of Health, and I'm very proud. I kept every single women's clinic open here in the Commonwealth of Virginia when I was governor. So you wonder why you're not going to do it, but if I now won in 2013, there would not be one women's clinic open. After the historic ruling on gay marriage in the Supreme Court, I'm very proud. I was the first governor in America to perform a gay marriage. My point, I was trying to send a signal to the globe that we've got to diversify our economy. We want businesses to come here, but you cannot do it if you're not open and welcoming. And I was the most traveled governor in U.S. history, 35 trade missions, 5 continents, dozens of countries, and I recruited 1,100 businesses to come back to Virginia. We became the #1 state for cyber, data management, unmanned systems. They flocked to our state once we were open and welcoming. And what does that mean for you? Jobs. And I created 200,000 new jobs. We personal income went up 14%. I'm very proud that unemployment went down in every single city and county when I was governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's what Democrats do. I inherited a $2.4 billion debt when I walked into office with the Republicans. I left a $500 million surplus 4 years later. We leaned in to lift people up and to help everybody. And I also was a social warrior on issues important. As you know, we had a 102-year-old racist Jim Crow law that disenfranchised people after they'd served their time. When they got out, they could never vote again for the rest of their lives. It was horrible. 40 states, it's automatic, but not Virginia. So as you all know, in April 2016, with the stroke of my pen, and everybody told me not to do it, my staff said, no, it's too controversial. I was very proud. I stood on the Capitol steps in 2016, and I gave 206,000 Virginians back the right to vote. It was more than any governor in American history, and it was the largest enfranchisement of voters in over 125 years. That's what I like to do. I like to lean in. I had pardon reform going on. I think of a guy by the name of Lenny Singleton, young African-American kid, went to a party down in Hampton Roads, tried cocaine, got addicted, and over the next 5 nights went out and stole 50, 60 bucks at a 7-Eleven or whatever, a little grab and goes. No weapon, nobody injured. His $511 was his total theft. His sentence in Virginia was 2 life terms plus 110 years. Think of that. Travian Blount was 15 years old, made a mistake, tried to rob a drug dealer, had a gun, didn't use it, but had one. He was 15. 6 life terms plus 118 years. So I leaned in. And I pardoned both of them, and I'm very proud. I'm good friends. I just spoke to them the other day. This is why I want to be governor, is to give people second chances, to lift people up, to build a booming economy. And I've got 166 very serious pages of policy ideas. When you get home tonight, Bo says it's the best night he ever has. He gets a little candle, a little red wine, and he closes up my Terry from Virginia. 166 pages of very serious policy proposals. The biggest issue ever, is that right, Bo? Thank you. Yeah. But the biggest issue for me is education. That's why I'm back running again. We've got to invest $2 billion a year to fix our education system because, think about this, we are 50th out of 50 states on average teacher pay as it compares to the average pay of our citizens. Really? We're the 10th wealthiest state in America. So I promise all of you we're going to fix that because we lost 1,100 teachers. We're down today. They got substitute teachers. That's not fair. So I promise all of you when I'm governor, we are going to pay our teachers above the national average for the first time in Virginia history. I promise you I will have broadband access to every Virginia resident within 2 years of me taking the oath of governor because it's just unfair that people don't have broadband. I mean, here's students online learning. They can't online learn because they don't have broadband. Really? They go to McDonald's Wi-Fi hotspot. That's not fair. I'm going to fix that. We have 41,000 at-risk 3- and 4-year-olds. I'm going to get every one of them access to care. And, folks, listen to me. We need teachers. So if you're willing to be a teacher for 5 years in a high-demand area, we'll be the first state in America, we will pay your room, board, and tuition at any college, any university here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm going to lean in on health care, get everybody health care coverage. So I got big, bold plans. So I need your help. I need to get elected. And there's a real difference in this race. You know it. Just think what happened this week. His closing argument, Glenn Youngkin's went on TV, and it's about banning books. It's about banning Beloved, which was written by Toni Morrison, one of the most esteemed African-American authors in the history of our country. She won the Nobel Prize, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So he's ending his campaign where he started. He started his campaign for 8 months. The only thing he talked about was election integrity, which is the 2020 code word, but somehow Trump won the election. That's how he started, and now he's ending with another racist dog whistle. I'm really tired of it. I am sick of them talking about these issues of critical race theory. We do not teach critical race theory here in Virginia. It has never been taught. It is a racist dog whistle. It is pitting parents against parents, parents against teachers, and they're using our children as political pawns, and it has got to stop. And that's why we've got to send a message on November 2nd. He's been endorsed by Trump 6 times. Think of that. He said so much of the reason I'm running is because of Donald Trump. Folks, I'm running for you. I ain't running for Donald Trump. But listen to me very carefully. He is very clear, and we've had our television ads, and we've got him caught on tape. He is going to ban abortions. He has said that's the top of his priority. Every woman in this audience and every woman in Virginia should understand, for 50 years it was a talking point. But we always knew that the Supreme Court would protect Roe v. Wade. It's over. It's gone. The Trump Supreme Court, 6-3. So if you have a governor and a legislature who outlaw the Supreme Court now, just as they did in Texas, they're about to take up the Mississippi case. This is life-threatening for women who will now have to have illegal abortions. Our doctors in Virginia today are getting calls from people in Texas because it's illegal today in Texas. A woman doesn't know she's pregnant in 6 weeks. They're calling us today because we're the closest state for them. Now, Glenn Youngkin wants to ban abortions. I can tell you it's so dangerous. Doctors will be put in jail. But I can tell you this, as the guy who wrote the bid for Amazon, I did the Google deal, Facebook, Microsoft. There's not a company in this country that is going to come to our state when we put walls up. He wants to ban abortions. He came out last week and said he does not support gay marriage. Really, in 2021, really? So those two, I never would have got the Amazon deal, which is the biggest deal in 25 years. He doesn't believe that humans contribute to climate change. He said that the other day. He said as governor he would not have signed Virginia's Clean Economy Act. Think of that. Now, we have an ability here in Virginia to be the clean energy. I'm calling for us to be 100% clean energy by 2035. We'll be the fastest in America. You know what that means to me? Protecting our environment and creating tons of jobs. So the differences in this election are so clear. We do not want a Trump wannabe. I call him Trump in khakis. He is a lapdog to Trump. We're done with that hate. We're done with that division. But that's why I need you to come out and vote. We've knocked down 1.5 million doors already. We did 152,000 doors last weekend. We're going to surpass. So how many people knocked doors for me? Give them a round of applause. And the rest of you, it is going to be a beautiful weekend. Give me 2-3 hours. Go knock on some doors. And, you know, we do that. We're personal. They like to put up signs. We like to talk to voters. And that's where we have an advantage, because we're knocking on doors. We're talking to people. But we got 6 days to go, folks. Sleep when you're dead. I mean, sleep is way overrated. You don't need to sleep over the course of the next 6 days. But what we do here, and Bo's right, and Matt's right, what we do here in Virginia is a message for the country. Are we going to let Trump off the mat? Are we going to let him begin to run in 2024? I've run both presidentials here. I've beaten Trump twice. I am 2-0. I'm going to go 3-0. I promise. We're going to beat old Trump again. So I just thank you for coming out here today, but please take advantage of the next 6 days. Get out there, talk to your friends, talk to your boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever you got. I don't care, but you got to talk to people and get them out to vote, because the Trump people are energized. They truly believe they won the 2020 election. So they're going to show up and vote. We got to show up and vote and show them who we are. We are better than this. We are uniters. I am a uniter. Glenn Youngkin is a divider. And we are going to stop them on November 2nd. But finally, I got to have Hala as my lieutenant governor. The first Afro-Latino in Virginia history. Because let me tell you why this is important. The Senate's not up for 2 years, but they are up. We have a 21-19 Senate. And on some choice issues, not every senator always agrees with us, Democrat. On some of the gun protection bills, some don't always agree with us on that. So we get down to a 2020 Senate. The tiebreaker is the lieutenant governor. Justin Fairfax, the lieutenant governor today, broke 52 ties with a Democratic Senate. So the Senate is in play. Women's issues totally in play. That's why I got to have Howard, and I got to have Mark Herring as my Attorney General. You know, when I did the restoration of rights, as you know, they sued me, took me to the Supreme Court, sued me again for contempt of court. I'm the only governor to be sued for contempt of court. It was fine. But I got to have an Attorney General to have my back. And you should be proud of that. Today, 277,000 people can vote who could not vote 8 years ago. Think of that, folks, because of the work you did. So, and then finally, I gotta. As you all know, I had 120 vetoes, the most of any governor in Virginia history. I never lost one. I gotta have a Democratic House of Delegates, folks. So, with a Democratic House, this state is going to take off like a booster rocket. Thank you. God bless you. Let's go get them. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Paul. Let's get at it. Okay, great. Okay. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Get all your old girlfriends. Whatever you got, man. Okay, thank you.